What is our place in the universe? Here is the world. Beautiful and terrible things will happen. Do not be afraid to take care of yourself, no matter what. I want to present a systems approach, a look at the interdependent web, here symbolized by a spider's web. Bertalanffy says in his book on systems theory, as we look for similarities at different levels of reality, through the lens of different sciences like physics, biology, and psychology, we will see examples of wholeness, order, and patterns reflecting infinite continuity. From science as well as religion, our apparently minuscule bodies are held up against the light of the creation of the cosmos. The universe is so frighteningly immense that we sometimes feel consumed by its awesome power, helpless to whatever suffering it might inflict. From science, the universe is mostly, in fact, immaterial vacuum. 99% of the universe is space between components of atoms, as is the same in our bodies. The hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen in your body is almost all about 14 billion years old, sourced from the Big Bang. How would you feel if someone said to you, "You're looking old today"? Well, they'd be right. We all are, regardless of our earthly age. Our bodies are older than we think. We see our inner and outer worlds comprised of many, many parts. The number of atoms in the body is more than the number of nanoseconds in the history of the Earth. In this sense, we have an even larger inner universe than an outer one. We are a very small cog in a very large wheel, at least so it seems on the surface. Look at the uncountable events that occurs over the course of the evolution of life on Earth. We're made up of smaller parts and we make up larger parts. What matters is the part we play. We have 99% the same genetic material as chimps and bonobo apes. We are their future. We are up in the top right-hand corner along with the chimps and bonobos in this evolutionary path. Did Flint, this little chimp, create Jane? In a way. DNA. The thread of DNA connects us all to our ancestors and our descendants. A bit of a story here. A couple thousand years ago, Zeno was a Greek philosopher who said that the fastest runner named Achilles could not beat a tortoise in a race. He reasoned that after courteously giving the tortoise a respectable head start of half the race course, Achilles would have to go half the course to catch up with the tortoise. By that time, the tortoise would have moved on by half what was left. And Achilles would then have to catch up again, and so on, half the course ahead, another half, always trying to catch up with the silly tortoise, always running and never reaching the end. Maybe the tortoise is smarter than Achilles thought. Be it a strand of DNA, a nerve cell, or the distance between your ears, the same principle holds for any finite line. It can be divided an infinite number of times. Once you start counting, you never finish the job. By implication, we will be living forever. The course of evolution takes a similar path. Homo sapiens, the toolmaker. Or perhaps Homer sapien. The lifespan takes a very similar course to the evolution of the species, from crawling to crawling. Once you start counting, you never finish the job. Take your order of service as another example. Fold it in half, again in half, again, again if you can. Pretty soon we realize we can never finish the task of halving this order of service and halving this entire service, for that matter. By implication, we will be here in this service forever. Which is why I told you to look after yourselves earlier. The life cycle. A circular process in which we're all engaged. All life forms engage in a cyclical process. Conception through death, and again, and again, and again. Each organism centered in its own universe, and in a way centered in the universes it belongs to more broadly. The life cycle of a monarch butterfly. Perhaps we are currently in the pupal stage of spiritual development before we spread our wings. We're in the chrysalis. Perhaps we're getting ready to rejoin the oneness of things. Remember Zeno's Achilles and your service folding exercise we just did? No matter where we draw the line, each stage is immeasurable and infinite, as is our biological source. There are lines here. There are lines around cells and within cells in the DNA, in the bonds between atoms. However our cellular life is divided, the process of cell replication continues. We're born, we traverse the journey of life wherever it goes, and we pass on ourselves, cells, ourselves, our atoms, our creativity, to those yet to be. A genogram represents the unique place of the individual in the course of evolution and life on Earth. Nobody else has a family pattern exactly like yours. Nobody. No other life form. You're utterly unique. My lifespan is my true body as I see it. My limited senses simply don't allow me to visualize it in its infinite completeness. My lifespan is but a speck in the infinite ocean of life as a whole. And there I am, part of my unique life universe, only 4 weeks old, being held by my dad. A little later, a bit peeved at having my soul trapped inside that silly box. High school grad, the body changes and grows, but its essence remains. As the universe grows and changes, so do I. Research has shown that 98% of our atoms are replaced each year. So I'm biologically a different person, but I still remember that this and those other pics are of me. But some are not so fortunate. There are dangers to the integrity of our bodies. One is alcohol, another is miscarriage. You can, I'm sure, think of many more. The outside world can nurture or damage the inside world, and vice versa. Where is your courage? Some folks put themselves at risk because they have too much courage. Some say liquid courage. There is no safe dose of alcohol for a developing fetus. There is no known safe dose of industrial pollution either. Robert Oppenheimer, director of the Manhattan Project, July 16, 1945, followed by the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki only weeks later, reflecting on his participation in unleashing this incredibly powerful and destructive technology. When he saw the power of the first atom bomb test, he thought of this quote from the Hindu Bhagavad Gita: "I am become death, slayer of worlds." Really? Was this really necessary? Take courage. Seat your feelings deeply in your body and in the world. Reflect upon what you care deeply about. Take courage to stay close to the way you are made. Imagine your body as a set of parts. We take this for granted normally. Really look. We are a set of parts that allows itself to be thought of as one. Notice the many places your thoughts, feelings, and body can be, all simultaneously, whether you're aware of it or not. I am here, I am also here, and there, and there, and there, and there, and here, and here. Yay! At the same time as we are here, we can also be other places through our senses. Each of us can sense an inner world, parts comprising the small s self, which hopefully you can see about half the way up in white print there. And we can sense an outer world as well, whose parts are placed as part of the capital S self you see depicted at the top there. I see this whole model as the self, the capital S self, which we as the lowercase self can tap into through our senses. Theoretically, the entire cap S self is self-replicating, not only DNA. We can even measure how we perceive our place in our relationship with the universe, in our relationship with community, culture, gender, God. What of courage? Which of these 7 pictures best reflects your relationship with courage? And what happens as we age? Do we become wiser? What is the next process of life beyond aging? Is it simply death? Or saging? Savoring life's moments, including what comes with death. Hopefully we do savor life's moments, for this body will soon be gone to be recycled into the larger cosmos of which we are a part. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, the body returns to the larger universe to be recycled again, no matter how we go, and again. Remember that when you leave this earth, you can take nothing that you have received, but only what you've given, a full heart, enriched by honest service, love, sacrifice, and courage. And that, my friends, is why I think the body is immortal